Thomas Aquinas thinks that God doesn't have a body, but he also thinks that Jesus is God and that Jesus has a body. So is there a kind of contradiction in Aquinas? I don't think there's a real contradiction here, because what Aquinas would say is that in Jesus, you have one person who has two natures. So in order to understand Aquinas' position, we have to have some sense of what a person is and what a nature is. So a person is the one who freely chooses. The nature is the kind of thing that has certain capacities. So if you think about a tree, you have a nature, it's a kind of thing that has certain capacities, it can do photosynthesis, but there's no person, right? Because the tree can't freely choose. The tree doesn't decide to drop acorns or decide to grow, it just automatically does what it does. Now in us, we have one nature, a human nature, and there's a person who freely chooses. So we can, as humans, we can do certain things, we can go swimming, we can eat ice cream, we can climb a tree, and we can freely choose those things. Now, Jesus is unique because in Jesus, you have one person and you have one human nature, but in addition to the human nature, you also have a divine nature. So everything that Aquinas thinks about God, that God is not composed, that God is omniscient, that God is all-powerful, all those things are true of Jesus in his divine nature, but Jesus also has a full human nature. And so in that nature, Jesus is exactly like us, right? He has a mind, he has a will, he has bodily organs, he has all the things that every human being has. So there's really no contradiction at all in Aquinas talking about God as unable to suffer and Jesus as suffering, because Jesus suffers not in his divine nature, but rather in his human nature.